Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. Glad to see you're here. We're back in Japan. We're in the Kansai airport in Osaka. We're going to be flying out of here today, heading up to Izumo. I know the thumbnail says Honshu. It wasn't until I was getting set up here that I suddenly realized that that's actually the island we're on, not the city we're going to. So it's Izumo. It's about an hour and 5-minute flight from here. And we'll be making our way up there. Weather's a little bit nicer than it was last time. At least the winds are down to a reasonable 8 knots. So it is looking much better for our departure. Today we're flying the ATR72-600, and let's get on board and get her set up. Alright, so everything is hooked up. And we are ready to start. We are up on VATSIM. There was an aircraft here earlier who has since departed. So we'll see what happens there. So gear lever is confirmed down. Parking brake is confirmed on. We'll come up top now. And we will turn on the battery. And external power is on now as well. We get the dome light on so we can see what we're doing, and all of the other stuff is up and looking good, so we can kill the caution and we'll start boarding, since they're gonna have to come out of the remote terminal here onto the stand.
Boarding requested.
Swissport can do it. There we go. Alright, so they're in. Everything's going to start coming, so we can carry on getting everything all set up. So nav lights will come on. Warning systems will go up and do. Let's go with engine 1.
Board crew.
Hate when that happens.
Is coming.
Engine 1 squib test is good, and fault and fire is good. Engine 2 squib, fault, and fire. No, that's fault. Fire is good. I want to make sure I don't accidentally pull those handles, or we've got a lot of issues. Gust lock is currently on. That's fine. Prop brake. We'll give a couple pumps on the hydraulic here, and we can come up top. We've got to go this way to get the angle. Turn on the prop brake, and it is now engaged. The no devices, seat belts, and emergency exit lights on, and the windshield heat will come on as well. And we can pop down to the FMC. Start getting everything set up and ready to go. 55 passengers today. First early morning flight heading out to far reaches of Japan. Alright, so data is all good. Everyone's here. We can go position initialization. We'll grab the GPS, throw it in. Nav data, can't update it yet. Hopefully we'll be able to someday. And we can bring up the route. So let me grab my flight plan here so I can make sure I've got the route. Alright, so we are flying from Romeo Juliet Bravo Bravo, which is the Kansai Osaka airport, and we're heading to Romeo Juliet Oscar Charlie. Get that in. And there we go, and we can go with our UKV 556 for our flight number. We'll execute, and there we have it. So we're going to be departing off of runway 06 left. I'll grab the winds, throw them into the chat. It's fairly light today, unlike when we flew in here. Winds are 070 at 8. We're going to be departing off of runway 06. No clouds detected, 9 degrees, and the QNH of 1023. And 06 left is our departure runway. Correct. So 06 left, and we're going off of the Helen 2. And we're going to transition at let me just grab the departure here. It says Mako. That is not one of the departure points. It's got us going off to Helen, Mako, and then we carry on from there. We're not heading out to any of these other points, so that is fine. It will be no transition, and we will execute that. There we go, Helen and Mako, and we'll start entering in the rest of the route. So after Mako, we are going direct to Asagi, A-S-A-G-I. Execute that. From Asagi, we're going direct to Kilo Charlie Echo 47. Execute that. And from there, we're going direct to Tozan. Execute that. From Tozan, we're taking the Yankee 188 to Rankin. I'm just checking my route, or Rakta. So it's going to be the Airway Yankee 188. And we're going to Rakta. Could have gone direct, it's the next point, but that's fine. We'll execute that. From Rakta, we're then going on the Nakayu arrival, I believe, into the airport. So we'll come over here, RJOC. The weather currently there is (150). It's supposed to be changing to 170 over the next little bit. We are planning 25. Yeah, I'm going to stick with 25. It's going to be the RNAV for 25. We're going on the Nakayu arrival. We'll execute that. Let's go previous. Just want to check my charts here. That's good. And then it's OC 134. So Nakayu, we want to be at 4,000 feet. Execute that. And at Fumai, it's 2,000. That is all good. And then we're down to the runway. Excellent. So that is all entered in. Menu here, ident, And we'll get in our weights. So zero fuel weight for today's flight is 17,190. Fuel today, we are taking a total of 1770. And that gives us our weight. Our reserve for today is going to be 372. And trim is 1.1 up. And we can do our performance initialization. Cruise altitude today will be 16,000 feet. Max cruise mode, and our alternate is back to Osaka. So RJBB, and we'll return at 10,000 feet. There we go. We'll get that in. That is now in and entered. So go back to our performance page, getting ready for takeoff, and you can go over to the flight plan. All right. So that is up. There is no ATC on right now. It is early in the morning, as you can see. So we're going to take ourselves as self-cleared for the flight. And altimeters. That was 1023, I believe. Yes, it was. So we'll get the altimeters set up. I'm going to get rid of that. Get that over. Barrel will be 1023. There we go, and that is now set on both sides and in standby. Alright, once we are done loading the bags, we are going to be doing a pushback, so we'll hotel start engine 2. But before that, we'll have to call for the pushback, or else we run into that issue with it not wanting to do its thing. A little bit more bags coming in, so while we wait, let's take a look at the route we're flying today. I'll bring up the map. And there we go. So here's the airport we're currently at Osaka, out on the water. We're going to be taking off, making a left-hand turn out back over the bay. We're going to head up to Mako. We're going to turn up, as you can see, flying up over that mountain range again, up to Tozan. We'll make the turn here south of Tottori, all the way up to Rakta, and then we're going to be on the arrival up to Naku, and then the approach straight RNAV down to Izumo. So we're landing just over the water here. Once we're down, it's a smaller airport. We'll be landing and then coming in, and we'll be parking up here at the terminal. And that is the flight plan for today. Flight time is about 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm just waiting on those bags. Alright, we're at gate 98 at terminal 2. Come down here, do some final checks. Comms, we're going to go 122.800 on COM 1, 121.500 on COM 2. That is good. Come over to our nav. We'll leave them on auto finding. That's fine. No ADS we have to worry about. I'm going to go with the terrain radar, and we'll set I'm up with the weather. That is where it is set. Traffic will be above. We're good there. And we can come over here to Our surveillance TCAS transponder will be 2000 as we are VFR. Enter that in. It's on standby currently, and TCAS is auto mode. It's exactly what we want. We'll set my range to 10 miles. We're just clicking buttons here. Let's not do that. There we go. 10 miles is set. It should be done. There we go. So we can come back over to the aircraft now. We can make sure the parking brake is set. It is. Wheel chocks can come out. Tail prop can go back in the aircraft. We'll get the door closed. And now that they've driven away, they can close up the cargo door. There we go. All right.
We are ready to go when you are.
So everybody's loaded in the back. We'll get the guys here to come in and start for the pushback. Now we're going to have to wait for them to go through everything.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And get
welcome
us
aboard. This
to the
is your
point
flight
where
attendant
we have to
speaking.
release
At
the
this
brakes,
time,
and at
please
that point
ensure
we'll
to
be
make sure
starting
all
up
large
engine
carry-on
number
items
2
are
in
in the
hotel
open
mode.
bins, and your small items are underneath the seat in front of you. If you have any trouble or need any assistance, please don't hesitate to let a flight attendant know, and he would be happy to help you. After you put your carry-on items in the overhead bin and it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Also, be sure that the aisle is clear and sit down so that way other passengers can get by you. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please review the exit seating responsibilities and the safety card provided for you. Please make sure that you are able and willing to perform these actions. If you're not, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be seated. Now's the time to get out any last minute.
Alright, they're doing their bit. They're going to bring in the tow cart, hook it up, and then once we're done there, we'll be able to get that engine up and going to give us power once we come off the ground power unit.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 5556. Our flight time will be roughly 45 minutes. Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
Alright, so they're getting ready in the back, so while we wait for them, I've planned out our Christmas routine and our flights. Information will be posted on the Discord for that, what we're going to be doing for the Christmas season this year. Alright, we're going to do a straight pushback. We'll rotate in place once we're up and going. Okay, there we go with the release parking brakes. Alright, so we're going to do power management. TO is set to take off. Flight directors are on both sides. Radios are set. Trim. The trim to 1.1. Trim is set 1.1. Seatbelt signs are on. Landing elevation is set. It's on automatic. Fuel quantities are checked. Radio trims. Transponder is good. Doors are closed. Chocks are removed. We have start clearance. So for hotel mode, since we already have the prop done, we're going to turn on the beacon. We're going to turn on the wing lights. I'll come up now. Fuel pump on. Starter to A and B. Starting engine number 2. There's engine number 2 starting, and as we pass through 10%, we'll add fuel. But as you can see, there is no rotation on the prop.
When the seatbelt light is on, please make sure that your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another. Tighten by pulling
Just
on the
waiting
loose
for
end
that
of the
to
strap.
stabilize.
To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. In the event that the seatbelt light is not on, we suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened in case of unexpected
There we go.
turbulence.
So we're all
Please take a few
stabilized there. We
moments to
pop
now
up
locate
top.
one of the several emergency exits on this aircraft. In some cases,
Generator
the exit may be
2
behind
and
you.
1 should come on.
In
So
case of
we
emergency,
now
we need to
disconnect the
evacuate
ground
aircraft.
power.
There is lighting on the floor that will guide you towards the exit. In the event of
And
decompression,
AC
an
ground
oxygen
power,
mask
that's
will drop
fine.
in
We're
front
in
of you.
low
To
mode
start the
because
flow of
she's not
oxygen,
spinning
hold the
up
mask
at full
towards you.
speed.
Place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the
Disconnect
elastic band
that.
around your head. Tighten the straps if necessary.
And we
and
are
breathe
good
normally.
for our
Although
push.
the bag does not inflate, oxygen is
We'll
flowing
come
to the
down
mask.
and release the braking
If you're
brake.
traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask on first and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it is safe to remove it.
Alright,
In
so
the
with that
unlikely
then,
event of a water landing,
we're
a
going to
life
bring
vest is
engine
located
number
in the
2
pouch
up
under
into
your seat
auto.
or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch
Actually,
and remove
no
the
we're
vest.
not.
Flip it over your
First
head.
thing I'm going to do
Wrap the straps
is
around your
release
waist and buckle
the
up the
prop
front.
brake.
Pull the strap to
So
tighten.
a
To
couple
inflate the
pumps
vest,
on this
pull
to make
firmly
sure
on the
she's
red
ready to
cord
go.
Only when exiting the aircraft. If
We
your life
will
vest does not inflate automatically, blow into the mouthpiece
release the
for
catch.
manual inflation.
That
Each
should
vest
go
is
out,
equipped with a
unlocked.
whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used
Alright,
as a
that's
secondary.
closed. We should have it spinning. There she is.
Once again, all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time. Please
And with
securely
that
stow
done,
your
we can
personal
now bring it
items.
up
Make sure your
into
seatbelts are fastened in seat
auto
backs
mode.
and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatory
And that
is
should help
prohibited by law. All of this information and
with
more
some
can
of
be
this
found on
stuff.
the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting a cabin.
That's that one up and going. We'll come over here, engine 1 pump off, and we'll start engine 1. And we'll set the brakes. Adding fuel. There we can see her starting to spin up. Very good. And she is good. So we'll tell them we are good engine
Cockpit
starts.
to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
And we're going to bring engine number 1 on to auto on the condition levers. That'll bring it up as well. Back over to ND. And everything is looking good. And weather radar will go to standby. Alright. What we're doing now, we're going to come up here, we'll get the icing, anti-ice on. All this is good here. Quick check. Temperatures are coming up in the back with the heaters. And we are good. Alright. So prop mode is off. Looking for lights, no lights on. Everything seems to be powered up and looking good. No cautions or anything up top. Hydraulic power is good. Flaps, we're going to set flaps for takeoff. It is 1 notch on the flaps. We'll do the anti-skid test. Anti-skid test is done. Don't know why it's faulting. Shouldn't be, but that's fine. Flight controls will release the gust locks. And flight controls are free and correct. Autopilot, we're going to turn on, and then we're going to set it. So we're going to go to nav.
We're prepared for takeoff.
And vertical speed, which it won't let me do. We'll set it for, we'll go IAS mode. We'll set 170 for our climb out. Autopilot is off and confirmed. Alright, so taxi and nav lights are on. Taxi light is now on. Nav lights are on. Logo light is on. Wing lights are on. We're not de-icing. We're good. Bleeds are all good. AC wild. There are no white lights. Engine instruments are checked. Pitot heats are all on. Start selector mode is now off. And we are good to taxi. Osaka Kansai area traffic. Skyways 5556 Terminal 2 taxiing 06 left via Tango Sierra 6 Juliet 3 Yankee to holding point Bravo 14 for 06 left Kansai. Alright. Manual brakes. Brakes off. We'll come up top here as well. Kill that dome light. And we are looking good. So we're going to turn and taxi out. Let's give her a little bit of power. Go. And we'll just follow this up to Sierra 6.
Please note the cabin lights will be dimmed for departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
Again, given the time of year, we should start to see the sun come up as we're landing into Izumo. But we will see. It is very early right now in the morning. Again, first flight out. Hopefully, as we head further south in later flights, we will see the sunrise a little bit more. Alright, here's Sierra 6 coming up. Juliet 3 is the next right. Want to go up to Alpha, which should be this one here. Looks good. Alright, so as you can see, we got the terrain around us. We're going to have to worry about it, although our takeoff is going to be out over the water and it should not be an issue. Now turn the weather radar on. But I'm not expecting any weather today. Just going to head down here. Not much to see outside. It is pretty dark. And you can see the aircraft there. Some boats out on the water in the bay. And there's the airport. So a lot of the airport scenery I'm using for these flights is from flightsim.to. Some of the people there have done some wonderful work, just giving a little bit of life to these Japanese airports. They look really, really nice. And freeware, so you can't beat it. So while we're taxiing down, I'll just quickly dial in our altitude. We're going up to flight level 16, or 16,000 feet, flight level 160. There we go. And again, our climb speed of 170 is already selected for when we get to that point. Still fighting the end of this cold, so my voice is a little off. But definitely feeling better. There's that ship out there on the bay. Alright, we're coming up to Bravo 12. And we're going to go right down to the end. Not that we need to in this aircraft, but I'll just select it anyway. There's an aircraft up there. I'm not sure if he's landing here. He doesn't have a flight plan filed. He may be. Anyway, here we are at the end of the taxi. We'll just make the turn here and then we will do our pre-departure checks. Yeah, that's the problem with the way this is set up. It doesn't cut out on the generators if you go right down into idle, which is not right, but what can you do? Alright, TO config is good. Power management confirmed to take off. Speeds are set. We have 104, 104, 110. We'll probably rotate around 110 just to make sure we get up and going. Altitude is set 16,000. The speed is set to 170. FCP nav data is good. Radios are all set. We're on 122.8. Fuel quantity is checked. 1770 is good. So we can turn on our strobes. We'll turn on our landing lights. They are all on. Taxi light will stay on for takeoff. Transponder, pop down here. And transponder is now on. Weather radar is on. Both engine condition levers are in auto. Runway is confirmed, and we'll start the clock when we pull out. Looks like we got an aircraft coming into land. So we're gonna have to wait here. Would have been nice if he had broadcast something. I'm just gonna put the parking brake on since we're sitting here. Everything else is ready to go. A good thing about the clock is it doesn't start till we actually wheels up on its own. But that's all good. Looks like he's on his way in. See his lights. See if we can identify him as he comes in. No idea what he's flying or where he's come from. Well, he's taking his time coming in. Now, since he hadn't announced or anything, I could pull out in front of him and everything, but we'll take the higher ground here. We are where he's coming in, so we'll wait. If he had have given announcements and calls and told us how far out he was, I could have probably gone off ahead of him. He's really slow. I wonder what he is. It's starting to hear jet engines. There's another aircraft here that's going to be leaving, but he's not around me, so it's got to be this guy. Couldn't even model match them. Interesting. Osaka, Kansai area traffic, skyways 55, 56, line up and wait, runway 06 left, Osaka. Alright, let's get ourselves into position so we can go as soon as this guy's clear. Looks like he's exiting off. Somebody on text, but it wasn't him. Alright, looks like he's clear. we are. He's clear. We are good to go. So clock is running. We'll bring the engines up into notch. Let them stabilize. Engines are in notch. Clear those checklists. And we are good to go. Osaka Kansai area traffic, Skyways 55, 56 departing, runway 06 left on the Helen 2 departure. And it looks like he just disconnected. Alright, brakes are released. Airspeed's alive. $80 knots. V1. Rotate. Nice and gentle. Positive rate. Gear up. Don't want to get those tail strikes. We got a minimum of, is it 800 feet before the turn? 500 feet before the turn. It's fine. Alright, we're up. Climb power is set. There's 500 feet. Make the turn. 1,000 feet, we'll start bringing the flaps up. 1,000 feet, flaps up.
Don't sink.
Sinking.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Alright, speed's coming up. Autopilot, nav, and indicated airspeed. I'm going to intercept. And then we're going to be on our way. Alright, so positive rate, gear is up, flaps are retracted, power management is set to climb, autopilot's on, yaw damper is on. We're going to be climbing straight out to our intercept, so we're just going to go over to standard pressure now. And that is set. We turn off the wing lights, taxi lights, and logo lights. Speed's holding at 170. Would climb right out, and climb mode is selected in power management. No auto throttle, so we're basically set in the notch power setting where you kind of leave them for the flight, and it's just done on angles. So we're told it to maintain 170. It'll adjust our climb rate, our vertical speed as required. Doing a quick check on the other place when they do their updates. They seem to be doing their updates on the hour. Although that one looks like it hasn't been updated in a while. So I'm going to go to a second source for metars and see if I can find it. Nope. That one's out of date as well. Well, we'll land, we're going. I'll do one more check on another way of doing it. Alright, we got one that's a little more accurate from about 17 minutes ago. So runway 25 is the runway we're going to use. Winds will be quartering out of the left at about 5 knots or so. Okay, that will work. Should be on heading hold. I should be on nav. So let's tell this that we are now going to how do you do directs in here? Hey, Lemon Wolf, how are you? Just trying to figure out how to do a direct to in the ATR. It's this one. New flight plan next holding, no overfly. That's all good. Return. Okay. We're not doing a temporary, that's fine. Whatever. Alright, we are interesting. What? Oh. Now, how do I get out of this? I'm kind of stuck in this temporary flight plan. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you, so I'm gonna go here. Let's go direct to Sagi execute. Yeah, you're for some reason doing that. There we go. Oh, okay, yeah. That's a bug. Yeah. But it is very annoying, so I'll just switch these around. That's fine. Coming up for 10,000 feet. Yeah, we're heading over Akashi. The town of, there it is. I was saying, Lemon Wolf, I got the our Christmas plan figured out and what flights we're going to be doing for Christmas as we do that series. There's 10,000 feet. We'll just switch off the landing lights and the seat belts can come off. So it's a series of flights we'll be doing.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 2,000 feet. You may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatory.
So it will be a
Flight crew has turned off the fasten
15-leg
seatbelt sign. You can
trip
now
around
move about the cabin. However, we
Scandinavia-ish,
ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when needed in case of unexpected
starting on the 1st of December. I'll post some information up on the Discord about it, but yeah, it's going to replace all the current series for a few weeks while we do that. See if we can see any of the sunrise yet. No, not seeing anything. There's the Osaka area we just departed from. Looking very nice. So we're just climbing out. Again, we're heading over the that central mountain range up to the other side, and then we'll be heading down to land into Izumo. There's 12,000, just under 4,000 to go. Now we'll slip into cruise mode. And not a lot to see outside at the moment. As you can see, there's a little stretch of Honshū Island that we're going to cross over. Has it been snowing? No, well, not where I am. We had frost on the ground this morning when I took Molly out for a walk, but if you get out of the city area, the built up, and you get out into the more country area, yeah, they've started to have the first bits of snow come down. We're getting there. Toronto's always a few degrees, or the Toronto area where it's all built up is a few degrees warmer, so it usually takes a little bit more. But yeah, there's been areas there's been snow, and of course if you go up north or whatever, they've had it for a few weeks now. Doing too bad, still 700 feet per minute. We're flying into the wind a bit, so we're going to be slowed down slightly as we head out. But everything is looking good. I know there's bugs in the airplane, but it's not bad. Not bad. I do like it. It's a challenge not to tail strike it. So I'm starting to get the hang of it. Just have to remember to ease it into the air and don't flare on landing. No snow yet. Yeah, it was -4 when I took Molly out for a walk, and the ground had a layer of frost on it, and it's her first time seeing frost. So she was kind of curious and running around in it. We'll see how she does with actual snow in a little while when it hits. Alright, so we're at Asagi. I'm going to turn towards KCE47 now. There we go. Still climbing up, heading for 16,000 feet. We have 55 passengers on board, so we're about is that 3/4 full? 1,000 to go. It's kind of the remains of the city reaching up towards the foothills. And it's pretty dark out here, so a few little places of population, but just some roads and until we get up towards the other side. Yeah, give us another, 2 months usually by the time we hit mid-January, then we're into the deep freeze, so it'll be 20 below and chilly. All right, 500 to go, 500 feet per minute. We'll be at altitude in a minute. So this is leg number 8 of our series here. We have we're about halfway. So there's 16 total. So when this is done, we've completed half of the trip around Japan here. Alright, so as we're leveling off, we'll come down here, power management will go to cruise mode.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit cards.
This is where you get your bottle of water, your can of pop, and a bag of pretzels. I mean, we're only 40 miles to top of descent, so what do you expect? I think the shortest commercial flight I've now done on a proper airline was 12 minutes. And that was from Victoria to Vancouver in BC. So we basically took off pointing towards Vancouver and landed in that same direction. And I think we got up to 4,000 feet for the flight. And it was in a Dash 8-300. 300? Yeah, I don't think it was a Q4. So, very quick flight. We'll see if they can get the service done before we're landing. Alright, 2.5 miles to go to Tozan. Alright, it's kind of over the central high point of the mountains. And then we'll be starting down the other way. And not sure if you can see it, but I'm just starting to see the red on the horizon for the sunrise. So it may not come across on the compression. But there's the turn. There we go. So we're going to bring ourselves down to the airport along the arrival. Again, we're doing a RNAV, so no ILS required. So let's get the current METAR. I'll put it into the chat. So 1023 is still the barrel. Winds are 190 at 6. We're landing on 25. 10,000 feet visibility. It's fine few clouds, 3,400, 4 degrees, and 4 dew points. So we could get clouds down at the bottom end there. So 1023. Let's get that chat box down where it should be. Just noticed it was still up there from the last time. Arrival data. We're going to enter it in. So we got the expected star. We are going in on the RNAV for 25. We're going to set our altitude now. Minimums for the RNAV are Class C 400 feet. So we're going to set ourselves 400 foot altitude to go down. Of course, if we have to miss before that, we're good. But the aircraft will take us down to there if we need it to. And 400 feet is set. Let's get a little bit of traffic going on around Tokyo and text. So that is set. We'll hit VNAV right before we hit top of descent, and that will take us down to 400 feet. Automatic torque is good. Radios are set. We're still on Unicom. Engine or anti-ice is on. FCP, no, we've gone through and set that. Landing elevation is automatic. Minimums, again, 400 feet. We've set MDA for both sides. So we'll set 400 feet there. There we go. Approach and Mr. Approach. Mr. Approach, we're going to climb directly to OC 553. Right turn direct to the XZE VOR and hold at 3,000 feet. And hold is going to be a left-hand turn over the hold, a maximum of 210 knots. So, let's come down here. We're going to go into nav 1. We're going to tune in the XZE VOR, which is 113.4. And we'll nope, we're not going to do it on that one. That's our ILS, 103.4, and we'll put it in there now. There we go. ILS frequency, well, we don't have an ILS frequency because we are not doing an ILS, so that is good. So that is fine there. That's all set. That will give us that in case we need it. Alright, so that is all set. Go back to comm there. We'll leave that on just as a reference, but probably not going to need it. Anyway, it's in here in the FMS in blue. Anyway, so we're about 12 miles from top of descent. We'll maintain about 200 knots on the way down. And once we're starting down, we'll dial in the 1023 for our altimeters. So what do you have restriction-wise? We have to be above 4,000 feet at Nakao, which it will show. There's our 4,000 feet, which we told it. And there's the OC and the Fuma. We're going to be at 2,000 when we come in there, and that is all in accordance with the plan. So we are good. Bring this back to 40 miles now. A little bit of a system freeze. Always a good thing that the sound keeps going. If I get a system freeze and the sound starts to cut out, it's usually a sign my PC is about to crash, or the sim is about to crash. One final look behind, see the red really starting to come in now. So again, we'll probably see it on the ground just the way it is here by the time we're down. So there's top of descent coming up, so we'll hit the VNAV path. It's going to hold us here at 16,000 until we're ready to head down. And when we hit, as we come up to Naku, we'll go into approach mode for the RNAV. We will watch the speed. There's no auto throttle, so we're going to have to manually play it. We'll try to maintain that 200 as we're descending down. And there we go. Heading down, so we're going to bring the engines back. Pretty close to idle. Get that speed down to 200. Ding the back, let them know that we are starting down, and switch over to 1023. There we go. Watching that speed. So altimeters are set 10,000 feet. We'll do landing lights and seatbelts. And then we'll get ready for the approach. We're going to be going out over the water and then coming in over a little bay for the airport. And again, custom scenery provided by flightsim.to. It's all freeware, and the guys doing Japan do a really good job of giving each airport a little bit of characteristic, which is pretty cool. Here's the coast. We're coming over to the town of Katura, and then we're going to turn out this way, out over the coast, and then turning in towards the runway, as you can see here on the ND. 30 minutes into the flight. Looking pretty good. Want to watch that speed, but I don't be going too fast. As we head towards Nakua, we'll start to slow her down. Probably when we get within 10 miles or so. Turn. Pass it through 12,000. We're about 35 miles away from the airport. Alright, so come up to 20 miles. I'm going to get the lights on now. Seatbelt signs back on. And we'll let them know we're passing through 10,000 feet.
The flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Well, we got service done. I'm impressed. Alright, we're going to start bringing that speed back, get her down to about 190.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright
See the
position.
airport ahead
Please
there.
also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Should be in below right now. There we go. That's going to make a difference. below 185, we can go to the first notch of flaps. There's 185. First notch of flaps. Bring the speed down to 170. So that's not our airport, actually. We're gonna head over here and then turn down this way. This is another airport. It is Miho in Yonago, Japan. Good, 7,000 feet coming up. We're 11 miles out. It's like a huge resort area, I think, there, right on that curve with the beaches and everything. This is on the Sea of Japan side, the northwest side of on the western side of Japan. All right, we're through 7,000. Looking good. Coming up for Naku, which is the entry into the approach. So when we get within a mile or two, we'll arm approach mode. Everything is on and looking good. 6,000 feet. And maintaining at 170-ish knots there. Going to be targeting about 110 knots for our approach speed. If we come into our performance, you can see it says 101, but I want a little bit of speed for when I touch down. We do have the distance, 6,500 feet, so we're not going to float too far. There's 4 miles coming up. We're going to arm approach mode. See VFP, final path. We do have the lateral and vertical deviation markers already up. Keeping that 170. 150, we can go notch our flaps too, landing flaps. Two miles from Naku, 16.8 miles from the airport, or the VOR anyway, which is this end of the airport. It's 4,000 feet coming up just as we get up to Naku. There's the turn. And there's the airport ahead. All right, 2,400 feet is our next restriction at OC 551. Winds, as you can see, 7 knots, slightly out of the right now, but they'll rotate around to come out of the left. That speed between 165 and 170. Nice and gentle on the controls. Train starting to come in. Wind is almost head on. It's slowly going to pass in front of us to the left side, and that will give us that quartering left crosswind. All right, 2,400 feet and above, that's fine. We're at just coming up for 3,000. We have to be 2,000 at Fumai, which we will make no issues. Start bringing the speed back. 2,500 feet to go. So at 150, we can put out the next notch of flaps, which will have us fully configured in. The gear will come down as well. There we go. Gear down. 8 miles. So it's through 150. Gear down 3 green, flaps full. Lights are on, cabin is notified. Speed coming back. I'm gonna watch that speed. I'm gonna keep it about 130. Between 120 and 130 until we're a lot closer. Six miles. $1,700 feet. 4 miles. Izumo area traffic, Skyways 5556, final runway 25, 4 miles, Izumo. $1,000 to go. good. Alright, approach power management set to TO in case we have to do the go around. Flaps are full, approach mode is on, glide slope live, flaps and landing configuration, parking brake is off, autopilot and yaw damper will go off in a second. Alright, we're drifting slightly. So, autopilot is off, I have control.
500. Approaching minimum.
Let's bring us over. Watching the speed, watching the lights, there we go. Good.
Minimum.
Landing. Alright, let's bring that power back. We want to be about 110. And we don't want to really flare it.
200. $100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Fly it onto the ground. There we go. Nose down. Manual brakes. Reversers. A little bit of a thump, but that's okay. 40 knots. Reversers off. Manual brakes are off. We'll roll up to the turn off point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 5:57 a.m. and it's currently about 5 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete...
Here we go.
Hope to see you again soon.
Alright, get off here. Now this is the generic airport. I don't think I can find one for this one. I'm not 100% sure, but that's, oh, there's a little too far that time. Alright, so if I look at the parking stands, actually we're going to go straight ahead. No, they're there. They're waiting for me. Oh, they want us over there. Oh, okay. You might not want to be standing there, guys. Ignore that. And that is good enough for us. Not gonna ram into the wagon there. So parking brake is on. We'll come over here to the aircraft, get the ground power hooked up. So, flaps are up. Should have got all these lights off, but that's fine. That can come off. That can come off. I'll leave that on. We're all good there. So we're going to bring the engines down into FTR. As they cycle down, we'll hook up the ground power. Wheel chocks will go in. 30 seconds you're supposed to wait. That's fine. We can come down now, turn off the weather radar and terrain mode. Go off. Alright, let's shut down the engines. Alright, with that shutting down, we can come up top again. Beacon light will go off. Logo light will go off. Shuttle power is connected. Seatbelt signs. Come off. Fuel pumps off. Oxygen off. And the flight directors are good. So, open up the doors. And there we go. We can commence deboarding.
The boarding requested.
There we are. And they can do their thing. And there's on the horizon again the red of sunrise. So hopefully you enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow. We continue our tour of Canada. We're flying out of Thompson, heading down to Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. Thanks again for coming along for the flight, and we'll see you either on the Discord or tomorrow for the next flight. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.